why win the championship, right? If you think you can't compete at this level, that level, this level. And Brendan Rodgers, right? He always says, "Oh, we'll learn from this," but they never ever do, right? So, me personally, Vickers is getting too injury prone. You need better backup than Ralston for Anthony Johnson, because he's a good player. Val, the Barcelona kid, no for me.
Alright, Michael, let me throw that first point to you. But I guess Brendan Rodgers thought they could go and compete, Mark, but it didn't work the other night. And so what would you say to him, given the fact that Don Cowie yesterday made it difficult for Celtic? Lost 2-1, but it was much tighter than a 7-1.
Yeah, I mean, you always think you can compete, Paul. You always think, despite what you're up against, that you can win a game. It's like, so if you think you can't compete, so countries don't go to the World Cup if they think they can't win it. So I don't quite get Michael's logic in that. Barry will tell you, Barry's a professional footballer for 20 years, regardless of how a game off the top of my head, Rangers Barcelona, you've battled to get a 0-0 draw, whereas before it everybody thought Barcelona won. So these things can happen. It can go the other way as well. I think the key point that Michael makes for me, Paul, is Brendan Rodgers, his staff and the players do need to show that they've learned from Tuesday night when they go to play Atalanta, because there will be a big focus in this country on them as a champions going into the Champions League after conceding 7 goals. And I don't expect any drastic changes, like we said in the programme. Yeah, it's easy, we'll go and change it, but they actually don't have the personnel to change it too much. It's not like he's got a couple of big dominant players missing for the middle of the park. I think really what it would be is potentially having your wingers going 4-5-1, and your message being to your 2 wide players, first and foremost, protect your fullback. Now, when you look at Daizen Maeda in every game, bowling domestically, he will cover Greg Taylor. I mean, he's up and down. He's got a fantastic work rate. So it's maybe just not been spooked. Trying not to be conceding an early goal. Celtic seem to do against big teams, particularly away from home. So it's wee things like that. It's wee tinkering things, and then hopefully it all comes together at the end of a 90 minutes.
Barry, what would you say to Michael?
In terms of their setup, I do honestly believe that when you come up against very good teams, and Dortmund are like that, and Atalanta in a couple of weeks, I mean, they're flying high. Another 5-1 victory at the weekend against Genoa. I think you do need to go and maybe sit back, similarly what Ross County tried to do with Celtic. Be really well set up, hard to beat, and try and hit on the counter attack. Because one thing Celtic have got going forward is they've got pace, they've got people that can hurt you in behind. So it'll be interesting to see come the Atalanta game if Celtic do set up differently. I believe they have to. Maybe not at Celtic Park, I get it, you've got 60,000 fans behind you, but even in a good team, the top Rangers teams I played in, certainly the late 90s, early 2000s, when we went away from home, we totally changed the system. We were really respectful of what we come up against. In an ideal scenario, we'd want to go and play football, but sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and say, you can't do that, because you're coming up against top class opposition and top class players that can really hurt you if you give them time and space. And that's what happened on Tuesday night, Paul.